So let's go in with the light blue, iris blue 0900. And I'm using my phone as my camera, and it's about 6 inches or so away from my doodle. So my phone tends to get confused, and focus is on my hand versus what I'm doing. So I apologize if any stuff is blurred out. And I'm using a water brush, but you can use anything you have, like a regular brush, watercolor brush. Just make sure you have a bit of paper towel on the side over here, so the overflow from your brush, whatever kind of brush you have, you can get the water, excess water off your brush. So I'm using this one here is Sea Blue 1200, and I'm going to do a little bit for the background and around the house. And then I'm using, like I said, ink tints. You don't really need a lot of ink tints to have a lot of payout as far as color coverage is concerned, because a little bit goes a long way. So once this is dry, it's permanent. So you can go over with another color as long as it's dry. Kind of doing a circular motion with my pencil here. I'm not a coloring book person, but if you have another way of laying down a minimal amount of pencil, go for it. I'm just giving you an idea of how you can do this. Going in with the water brush again. See, it's really different and light. The only drawback is the amount of time you have to wait for things to dry. it's kind of like a bit of folk art. And let's go back in here and lightly put in some water. Good. Okay. I used the sun yellow to go around the tree bushes, and I'm going to go in with apple green 1400 at the base of the bushes. And a little bit in the tree. Going to go in with my water brush and mix it all up. And it has to dry, so I will be back. I'm going to do the chimney, and I'm going to use a little bit of orange. And I'm going to carry the, to the window space and curtains. Normally I like to limit the palette, a number of colors that I have with my palette to unify the painting. But in this case, since the painted lady is contrasting colors, we need to break out of my normal routine. So since I was having trouble with this, I'm going to go with my Princeton number 2 round. I'm going to use the orange again for my bird. So I'm using a broader number of pigments, but I'm incorporating it into various elements. So their painting is still very unified, because I used the sun yellow in the trees. I'm going to use it inside of the house. Another thing I like to do when I do like a piece like this is I like to ask myself, who lives in this house? Where was the bird before it flew and rested itself on the roof? And is the whole block painted like this one? Or do the other houses have a different color scheme? And the occupants, what do they do for a living? Probably not an accountant, or maybe a lawyer, or so I do this the inside. So these are showing through, and let's give the bird a little bit of yellow, because why not? Much better with the brush as opposed to the water brush. And the tree is kind of dry, as well as the bush. So I'm going to go a bit darker in the bush, because I like working in different layers. So I know that this is kind of a long video, but you can always fast forward it, but turn down the volume, or bookmark it and watch it later. You use the chili red, which is 0500, and I'm going to do the channel under the roof and the base here. And I don't know why, but I'm thinking of using the yellow for here, the face of the house. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. and a little bit around the door. Sun yellow again. Now I'm using ink tints, but you can use anything you want. For example, regular colored pencils or acrylics or gouache. I'm just playing around with my ink tints today. And a little bit of blending into the chili red. Okay, let's try this out. A bit of water to the chili red. And depending upon where you live, the paint may dry or the ink may dry quicker than mine. Now is a little bit like winter. Well, it certainly is chili red. And I think I'm going to limit the way I use chili red in the future. Well, this is, when you paint, you go through the dreaded ugly stage. I think I'm there now, but I'm going to work through it and make it work. So going through, I want to have this roof blue and purple. So I'm going to use fuchsia 0700. Around the arch here. And a bit into the edges to differentiate between the sky. Okay, so I'm going to use this green here again from there, and it's again apple green. Note to self: if at all possible, give yourself a heads up when you want to do another painted lady. Decide what colors you want to reuse and stay away from the chili red. I mean, some people will like the chili red. How about you? Does that work for you or not so much? Let me know down in the comments. Check it. See, yeah, okay. This is dry enough to go in, and I'm going to use a sea blue again, 1200. You can, with incandescents, you can, once it's dry, layer up. So if you don't like the color, you can change it. So I'm still kind of using a limited palette, but not as closely as I normally do. So okay. Again with the lemon yellow, or the sun yellow. A little more fresher. Down into the green, the apple green. Use a little bit of green here to tone it down, because green is the complement of red, and it should de-intensify the red. Or not, we'll see. And let's see. Okay. Kind of bitter. I'll let it dry a bit more and come back. And we're going to use Bark 2000. And since that is a little bit dark, let's soak up some color carefully. Okay. And I wanted to use a little bit of orange. Well, yeah. In here. Give it a little loosen of a lit room. Okay. Let's see. The door why don't we go with a little bit of fuchsia? And the archway will start with fuchsia, but I don't know where we're going to go after this.